Hi, Hayet. Very warm welcome to my show, The Common Unique You. And today, you are the common unique Hayet, very special guest of mine. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation and to be a part of my show. So, this show is all about you as Hayet and how, with your little stories, you will inspire people, not about the title. So, here we go. Very
Yeah,
warm welcome.
I'm all excited.
From your childhood, would you like to share a little story of yours? What kind of kid you were, and what were your dreams, and did it materialize?
Okay, so I was really a very you can say almost nowadays they call them hyperactive, but I wasn't really hyperactive. I was full of energy. I was always excited, and people would describe me always like, wow, I love her energy, and they would come back, and even my mom will say, oh, I met so and so, and she says, oh, she has beautiful energy. She's always smiling. She's always happy, and that's the type of child I was. I did get up to a lot of mischiefs because I just literally follow whatever is, vibrant. And I like everything that looks beautiful, colorful. Um, but from a very young age, I would say I used to tease my cousins and I used to play tricks on them. And, kind of like uh, pretend that I was a fortune teller or a gypsy or whatever it is. And I would just, and not that I say anything important, I just, after whatever it is, I just take their hand and throw it in their face or just silliness, literally. So after I say, oh, let me read your poem. And I would say this, that, and there, I'll say a couple of things, and then I take their hand and just go like this. It was like literally being silly. But did I not? I didn't realize that that was something really in me that wanted to come out, that really wanted to show itself. And that was who I was. I was literally very intuitive and loved to help people, heal people. So if somebody will have a stomach ache, I'll say, oh, why don't you take this tea? Or why don't you take, oh, have you tried eating such and such? From a young age, that's what I was, literally. And then at boarding school, the same thing. The girls would come and share with me their troubles so I can help them find solutions. I was very fortunate because I had a loving mom who let me be who I was. And herself not being able to actually go to school because the culture and because it was forbidden for girls to actually get an education at those days. At the age of 12, when I actually said to her, I would like to be a doctor, the only thing she said is she looked at me and said, if you become a teacher, that would be very good for our family. So this is how much education meant to her. And but that kind of like gave me a dampener almost. And I kind of like didn't think anything of a teacher. I don't like teaching people. I want to help people. I want to do really extraordinary things. That's what I was thinking then. Carried on living my life, had many miracles along the way, lived as a lady of faith, which really just followed my intuition, followed the divine guidance, trusted, whatever outcome. And then eventually found myself going with the School of Intuitive Energy Healing, doing 2 years. I studied at the College of Psychic Studies. And even though it's not titles, but that's how I was able to connect with me as a person, because that's who I truly was, that intuitive person that likes to use her abilities to serve and help others.
Any story comes to your mind, Hayat, which you think of whether it's a struggle or a kind of failure for you, but you embrace it and then become stronger as Hayat.
When you say struggle or failure, I don't really believe in failure because take, for example, Thomas Edison. What did the teacher say about him? How many times did he try before he actually was able to develop something that we are using now, and grateful every day for his invention? So whatever that doesn't work, then it's because it's not meant to be that way. It's meant to be a different way. So you have to always just keep trying your best. Just be you. And for me, there was many things that I then think, oh my God, why did I actually choose this? Or why did I do that? Or, kind of like, for example, I actually, after getting married, I wanted to stay in Dubai. Have I stayed in Dubai, I wouldn't have been able to be me, because I would have just fitted with whatever the lifestyle was there. But because, come in the UK, very open-minded, everybody is free, which has got different culture, different attitude. They look at things differently. I would have just literally been, I would still have my gift, but I wouldn't have polished it the way I have now. So this is example of, what you want and what is meant for you, and, what's going to really be for the highest and best for everyone are two different things.
Thank you for sharing that, Hat. Hat, would you like to share a story of yours which still inspires you?
A story that will always inspire me is to always have faith and trust no matter what, and just follow your intuitions and your guidance. And the story would be about, doesn't matter how many years, probably I'll say it to my grandson. And even though people might think, oh, you're telling me not to study. No, you do study. But when it comes to doing the right thing, follow your intuition. I had been a member of because I'm also a Baha'i, and I know in India you have the Baha'i temple, which is very beautiful. One day I will come and visit. As I mentioned, been brought up and really embraced being a lady of faith. I'm a member of the LSA, Local Spiritual Assembly here. And one evening I was studying for my GCSE, and I had this assignment that I needed to do, and being very busy, children, working, life, and all of that. I had that evening to actually prepare it. So the next day I would go and deliver it. And 5 p.m. that day, I had a phone call. We need to have an emergency meeting. I was like, I have to write. I really can't. So I sat by the window and I really just connected with myself, and then just went, because if I wasn't going to be there, they wouldn't be able to have a quorum. So they can't have the meeting. And I wanted to be there. The next day when I went to my class, nobody showed up. And I mean, nobody showed up for the class. It was a GCSE, which we had so many students, nobody shows up. So I had a one-to-one. That class was with the teacher. Not only that, she helped me write my essay. So that's how amazing when you really, really just trust the divine guidance.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. These days, pressure and stress becomes a very inevitable part of our lives. It happens. There are so many people stressed because of even COVID. Would you like to share anything about you? How do you deal with pressure and stress?
The way I deal with whatever life brings, because yes, we look at it as many things, but it's about detaching. It's really about taking a step back and grounding your energy. And really it's about, so important, just go for some fresh air, go for a walk. And if you can't do that, just keep yourself busy, because energy, if it's not being used, it will become stagnant. So that's why the two things that we have, which reminds me of something that might be helpful for your listeners. So we have the flight or fight. So those people that actually react to things are very, very in tune. But those people who actually freeze, they end up going through depression. They end up, because that energy is not being, utilized. It's not being, so it needs to come out somehow. So that's why it's so important. If you look at animals, whatever happens, they shake themselves to let go of the stress. The cortisol is so important to be released from your body, because otherwise it will just keep, emotion, it will just keep circulating in the blood and creating that dullness and that. So it's very important to ground yourself, move, wash dishes, clean the house, do whatever you need to do just to have that dance. I love dancing.
Wow, that was so nice. In fact, I am thinking that how the stretch is related, the freeze moment and the movement. And that makes so much of sense to me right now. When you freeze, Yeah, not letting your energies go. And I love the example of how the animals shake themselves to let the negative energies go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. Thank you for sharing that, Hi. Also would like to know, what are your learnings from life?
I've learned to really just be me, trust myself, and I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I am so many's. So, you have people that like coffee, you have people that like tea. So, you can't be a banana when you're an orange. You have to be who you are. So as simple as that. So I learned to be me. I speak my mind. I literally don't know how to hold back because I can see things from a different angle and people might find that challenging. But I've learned just to accept that, you know. So I learned to be me.
Would you like to share more about you? Like you learn to be you. What does that? Who is
Okay, so
Hayat today?
let me elaborate. So before being me was not easy. I used to have this guilt and shame pit, which I used to visit a lot, even though being a lady of faith, even though I pray, even though I still have those feelings because, oh, I upset so and so, oh, I did wrong by so and so. But now I understand I did not do wrong by anybody. Whatever they meant to learn, I was just there to deliver it. you know, whatever I'm meant to grow from, they were there to deliver for me. So it was about, whatever it is. So yes, now I really understand that I just step into my power, being, you're talking about my uniqueness, but my qualifications help me embrace more my uniqueness. So put it this way, to understand better myself, to create that boundaries and learn how to detach. So it's very, very important. Before I didn't know how to do that. And I would just be a doormat and, try to please people just to be liked or just to belong, because for things that we might not understand, which Marissa says, doesn't matter what the issue is, it's either you're not lovable, that's how you feel. It's not reality, but that's how you would feel. You're not lovable, you don't belong, it's not available to you. And what made her millions is I'm not good enough. So
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. What would you like to give it to the viewers who are watching us today?
message, and I wish I knew this much earlier. Obviously, I'm not regretting because I needed to go through the process to be where I am and where I was, is to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Invest, invest, invest. And when I say invest in yourself, yes, it's nice to get that science degree. It's nice. But what about within you? Who are you as a person? And that's where a therapist, a coach, a healer, that's where they can help you take that long leap of faith and make it, instead of going, like for me, it took me probably about 20 or so years to actually understand and connect with myself. Well, nowadays, just Google and you can find many people. And I know many people will say, I can go on the internet, I can get YouTube. They're nice. But it's like, having an orchestra playing for the whole kind of like audience. There's nothing tailored to you. And this is where a coach, a therapist will help you with your unique, whatever it is that you're going through at the moment. So that's why it's so important to invest in yourself. You will be doing all the work. You need to understand that nobody will be there to help you unless you choose to help yourself. So make that first step, really, really go for it, and trust that you are going to get 100, if not 1,000 times fold and more what you're investing.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Hai. And I think now I have a rapid fire round for you. Okay. It could be one word or one sentence. Okay. All right. Tell me, what does happiness mean to you?
Be me.
Wonderful. What does struggle mean to you?
I don't know. I really don't buy into struggle, because struggle means you're not being yourself again. You're not trusting. It's about trust and have faith in your ability and the divine.
Thank you. What does inspiration mean to you?
I told you a big story on inspiration, didn't I? Inspiration is really, for example, for me, my mom always inspired me. Not that I knew it then, but now looking back, because she had so much compassion, she had so much love in her. And even though being illiterate, people will come to her for help, guidance, and all of that. So probably I am who I am because we all are modeled. So, because of how I saw my mom and how she was helping, how she was always serving. So that's why probably I am this type of person who has always been a doormat until I realized actually I can serve, but still have, that detachment, still have those boundaries.
Thank you for sharing that. What's your favorite color?
Now you got me. My favorite color would have to be, because there's two of them. One, sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's green, sometimes no, there's three now. I don't know where the other one came. No, but lilac-y blue, kind of like that combination.
So like blue combinations, blue light combinations.
Yeah, not the dark blue, but that kind of like the lilac-y.
Describe yourself in 5 words.
Um, I'm very, very loving.
Okay.
I'm very nurturing. I speak my mind, very much so. I never hold back. Um, Obviously, nurturing comes with compassion. That's obviously go hand in hand. I'm very generous.
Thank you for sharing that. What makes you happy?
Um, to be quite honest, when I wake up in the morning, I have no reason not to be unhappy because it's a new day. So I just embrace it. But what really gets me on fire is being by the sea, having amazing time in the sun. And that would be kind of like, yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. What makes you upset?
That makes me upset. Really what changes the energy within me slightly. So is when people lie, when people really, really lie.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that. What's your favorite pastime?
My favorite pastime is, obviously I should say, spending it with my grandson, but he's not always with me now. So it's really writing. I like to just sit there and whatever. I like to channel. I channel a lot and I write.
Thank you. If you have to unlearn one thing right now, what would that be?
If I have to learn one thing at the moment, okay, you got me on the spot here. There are quite a few things I would like to unlearn, but one of the most important things that at the moment I should be unlearning is to okay, put it this way. Every moment is so precious, but sometimes before I actually understood my own power, I used to take things for granted and I used to overload myself and I used to overdo, like really burn myself because it has to be done. So perfection.
All right. And if you have to learn one thing, what would
If I
it be?
have to learn one thing, God, there's so many things again I would like to learn. But at the moment is how to use everything on the internet properly. How to use so it's IT. If I have to learn anything, it has to be IT.
What do you think about this show? What all things happened to you while we are talking for almost an hour and a half?
So the recording was amazing. I loved your energy. I loved your line of thinking, and I loved the way you kind of like, as you mentioned, now that you're a coach, obviously you've started to use your skills on me.
That was the idea.
And mostly what I would love is to really be able to inspire and help as many people as possible that are learning to actually trust themselves and to actually invest in themselves.
Thank you for sharing that. Right now.
I am actually excited.
Mhm. And how does that excitement looks like?
Um, how it looks like is what you see, but how it feels inside, it feels fuzzy, it feels bubbly, it feels kind of like, yay.
I like that. Thank you for that. This is the end of our show, and I really want to thank you again for being my guest today. And I had wonderful conversation with you. I understand a lot about you. I understood a lot about you as a person and your uniqueness. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who will get inspired to see your story. So thank you so much.